365 older adults spent 2 years taking a high-dose fish oil supplement. And spinal fluid tests confirmed the omega-3 fatty acids reached their brains exactly as designed. Their memory and cognition scores rose by an average of 2.76 points on a standard test. The group taking a placebo, a plain pill with no active ingredient, rose by 2.67 points. That gap is close to nothing. This was not a small, sloppy study either. It ran for 2 years, was double-blind and placebo-controlled, and specifically recruited people between 55 and 80 who rarely ate fish and carried elevated risk for Alzheimer's disease. Exactly the population most likely to benefit if fish oil worked the way its marketing suggests. Americans spend more than $1 billion a year on fish oil supplements. Much of it sold on the promise of protecting an aging brain. This study was designed to finally settle whether that promise holds up, or whether it never had the goods to back it up. Let us sort the signal from the noise. For decades, when fish oil brain trials came back negative, researchers had a ready excuse. Maybe the omega-3 fatty acids never actually made it into brain tissue in meaningful amounts. So of course cognition did not improve. This trial closed that loophole directly. Researchers drew cerebrospinal fluid, the fluid that bathes the brain and spinal cord, from participants and measured omega-3 levels directly at the source, not just in the bloodstream. The result confirmed that DHA, the specific omega-3 most associated with brain structure, was successfully delivered to the brain in the group taking supplements. That is a genuinely important methodological step, because it means this trial cannot be waved away with the old objection. The compound got where it needed to go. Researchers tracked participants for 2 full years, running a broad battery of cognitive tests alongside brain imaging that looked for the specific tissue loss patterns linked to Alzheimer's disease, with delivery confirmed and a long enough follow-up window to catch real change. This became one of the cleanest tests fish oil has ever faced. Here is what 2 years of confirmed omega-3 delivery produced. Nothing measurable. Cognitive test scores in the fish oil group and the placebo group moved by nearly identical amounts. 2.76 points versus 2.67 points. A difference small enough to be statistical noise rather than a real effect. Brain imaging told the same story. Researchers looked specifically at brain regions vulnerable to Alzheimer's-related decline, hippocampal volume and related structures, and found no meaningful difference in tissue loss between the two groups. Memory, general cognition, and the physical brain scans essentially agreed with each other. And all three said the same thing. Omega-3 supplementation made no detectable difference over 2 years in this population. That consistency across 3 separate types of measurement, self-reported cognitive tests, structural brain scans, and biochemical confirmation of delivery, is what makes this result hard to dismiss as a fluke. When a supplement fails this many independent checks at once, that is a real signal, not an accident of one flawed test. This is not the first negative fish oil trial, and it will not immediately shrink a market built over 20 years of marketing momentum. Earlier studies had a built-in excuse: uncertain brain delivery, that let supplement makers and hopeful consumers wave off disappointing results. This trial does not offer that exit. And yet omega-3 supplements are cheap to produce, widely trusted, and backed by genuine cardiovascular research showing benefits in other parts of the body, which gives companies plenty of legitimate marketing material to lean on even after a clean brain health trial fails. Consumer habits also change slowly. A supplement that has been recommended by a doctor, a magazine, or a well-meaning relative for a decade does not get dropped because of one study. However well designed, expect the fish oil industry to keep marketing brain benefits using older, weaker research or general omega-3 health claims that do not specifically address cognition. While this specific brain-focused finding gets buried in the fine print or ignored entirely in advertising copy, here is what this study does not settle. It tested one specific population: older adults already at elevated Alzheimer's risk who started supplementation relatively late in life. It says nothing about whether omega-3 fatty acids matter earlier, say in your 30s or 40s, before measurable decline has begun, or whether people with existing severe deficiency would respond differently than participants who simply ate fish rarely. It also only measured 2 years of outcomes, and Alzheimer's-related brain changes can unfold over decades. So a longer trial could still theoretically reveal effects invisible on this timescale, though there is no strong reason yet to expect one. This trial also does not touch the separate, better supported case for eating fish itself. Dietary patterns rich in fish are linked to other health benefits through means beyond an isolated omega-3 pill, and omega-3's genuine, well-documented benefits for heart health remain completely untouched by this result. This is a brain-specific finding, not a verdict on omega-3 fatty acids broadly. Do not read this as medical advice to stop or start any supplement without talking to your own doctor. Quick recap: 365 older adults at elevated Alzheimer's risk took high-dose fish oil for 2 years. Spinal fluid tests confirmed the omega-3 reached their brains. Memory scores, cognition scores, and brain scans all showed essentially no difference compared to a placebo group. So, signal or noise? This one leans signal, and specifically toward a negative result. The methodology closed the usual escape hatch. Delivery was confirmed. The follow-up was long enough to matter. And 3 independent measurements all agreed with each other. For brain health specifically, in this population, high-dose fish oil supplementation did not deliver on its most marketed promise. That does not touch fish oil's separate heart health benefits. And it is not a verdict on eating fish as food. But if you are taking a fish oil pill purely hoping it will protect your memory as you age, this trial is the strongest evidence yet that it will not. Subscribe for health claims explained without the hype or the panic. Signal from the noise. Every week.